Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another Ford Lightning computer, this time coming from Texas. Let me just stop a couple of things in here to make sure everything is correct. All right, so customer concern is long cranking. Let me actually put the information on the screen so you guys will be able to see that. All right, let me move you over to the screen. All right, so you can see in the screen now the message. I kind of like erase some of the areas so you don't see all the complete information from the customer. It says, good morning, I would like to know the turnaround time on getting a PCM, cranking issues. Have to wait 60 seconds before the vehicle will start. I will overnight the PCM. All right, so this was just a conversation with him. His name is Kyle from Texas. All right, I have everything ready to go. I have the full probe with signal 51, the one I use for low speed. And I have the SUS connected already to the computer. We can see coolant temperature, 170 and so on, things that I can move here. So let me just show you. Actually, well, let me move this. It's a little hard to get the two captures on the screen, but I think that's okay. So we have no RPMs. I am also going to put let me just see 1 second. Yeah, so you guys can see in the lower right corner the computer connected, and so you see when I run this. So I don't have the entire pad system connected, but I don't need to perform the test for the RPM. So I'm going to turn this ignition on and then give it low RPMs around 400. So I want you to see the oscilloscope picking up, I mean, not the oscilloscope, the scanner picking up 400 RPMs. And we can see that on the cluster itself too, in 400 RPMs. The computer is now being on for probably, I would say maybe 2 minutes. And you can see now the RPMs nice and steady. So it is working as it's supposed to, right? So we can see the RPMs nice and steady. So that's one thing that I wanted to show, because I'm going to turn the computer off. We might lose communication. So we'll see. Because I want to reproduce his concern. So we now saw that RPMs nice and steady at 400 RPMs. So in this case, I think I might have to kill the computer. We can see in the cluster, no RPMs. So let me try without killing completely the battery. So I'm going to power the computer on, turn ignition, and then give it the same 400 RPMs or so to see if it goes down to erratic. So that's what I'm trying to look, because I should have recorded the first capture when I have the computer off completely. So let me, no, it is, and I can see, I don't know if you guys can see it, probably not from there, because I'm in the small capture right now, but the coils are firing, so the car is actually, happy. And we can see a steady RPM, so that is definitely good now. And this is exactly what they have. So I'm going to have to kill completely the computer. Probably the scanner is going to, said that I lost communication with the computer. Yes, it did. All right, so I'm going to exit here. And we're going to just let it cool down a little bit. So let me pause the video. I'm going to probably wait like 5 minutes and then come back. Actually, let's try it without waiting much. I'm going to power on. All right, so data display, continue, because this has to be very quickly. Let's try to do without the scanner connected to see if I can see the erratic on the cluster. Right now, it's still very steady, because the computer is now nice and warm. The temperature is not as bad right now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to let it cool down and reproduce his concern. So I'll be right back. I gave it a little time to cool down. I am injecting right now the signal at 400 RPM, but the computer is off. So let's try to let me get you over to the main screen where you can see the RPMs in there, because it takes a little time for the scanner to connect. So we are there, no signals, no signal. It should be running, and it finally reads something. But as we see now, it's very erratic. That's exactly his concern. So I'm trying to go quickly as possible before it corrects itself to the scanner, and I'm going to keep you in that same capture so we can see what is going on. Because as you see, as soon as it warms up, it corrects itself. So this is very common on these computers. So right now what I'm doing, you're gonna see, is just deselecting all the pits and just selecting the RPM, put them into graph. And yes, it's very erratic. So let me move you over to the display, and we can see now the RPMs even going up to like from 182 to 668. So the signal is very, very erratic. And the reason it starts in here, and I can see coils, but not with the same activation that where we have it before. This is exactly his problem. So that is a very common situation on these computers. Based on what I see, I mean, I definitely have to open the computer to repair it. This is definitely the digital to analog converter, or analog to digital converter, either way you want to call it. This is exactly the problem. So if I turn this computer off right now and just leave the battery connected, this is going to change. So let me make it like probably a couple of minutes, so I'll be right back. All right, you guys are in there again. So I have now, the computer is just powered on by battery. So let me see if I can run it and it picks up. So it looks like it's following the reading. I can see already RPMs. And yeah, this is exactly perfect, because now look, the RPMs are 400, and look what is reading on the scanner, 401 RPMs. Perfect. Now the digital to analog converter, whatever the problem is internal, it corrects itself, and now the RPMs are completely nice and clean. And I can definitely see, let me move you over to Sony A1, move the this a little bit, and you can see these lights in here nice and bright. Those are the coils. I just put a load in there that I can visually show you. But yeah, the coils are now happy. So this is definitely 100% a concern. So I can reproduce it, no issues. Let me go back to the screen, and we can see how now the RPMs are nice and steady, no drops. So the RPM, that's the only bit that I really need to have. I also have, and I wanted to show you the meter, where I have 5-volt reference in there. I can move the scanner over to the side so we can see that it's still running. So the 5-volt reference is present. That doesn't change. It's not a problem about the 5-volt reference, but I want you to see that the 5-volt reference is there. I'm actually doing a full test on the computer for them and reproducing the concern. So this is, I told Kyle how I have all parts in stock to repair this computer. He approved the repair, so I'm going to just open the computer, repair it, and then retest. And I'm going to do as soon as everything is cold, and then come back with a video on the same video that we have with the computer now then repair. All right, guys, so I'll be right back. I'm going to pause the video, do the repairs, and just stay tuned. All right, guys, I finished the repairs. Okay, you are seeing the main screen. I have the cluster still on the same way. Well, I'll kind of move it a little bit so you guys will be able to see that. Want to put you into this capture, because again, remember the oscilloscope, or not the oscilloscope, the scanner connection and all that is a little slower to show. Let me get that one ready to go, because I think I closed everything. Let me just show you in the display what I'm going to do. So I'm going to open the full probe, just trying to see if it's on or not. That always goes into checking credentials. All right, so let me start that up. I guess I will do that later, not now. Let me put the oscilloscope in that one. That will be this one. Yeah. All right, so we will have both in there. Or this one, I always use one for escape B6, which is the same paths internal. It doesn't matter what it says in there, because this is all I use is to actually adjust all this in here, temperature, throttle position, etc. Right? So that I have in here. So I am very familiar with that. And I also change this signal from 52 to 51 for low idle. I've showed that in multiple on my videos. Let's connect to the scanner. Well, I cannot because it's not on. All right, so I'm going to put these on and put them into 400 RPM, the same way we had before. and I'm going to move first over to this capture so you get to see the start of the computer completely cold. Right now everything is off. You can see the cluster is off, everything is off. All right, so let me power this on. I can see definitely a cold firing immediately, and that's a good sign because that is RPM. The cluster takes like a little second to pick up. Right, I'm going to select now the screen here so you can see the RPM in the lower corner, and I'm going to connect to the scanner. This is what I was doing before off a camera. So I deselect all these ones, and I just, well, in here I'm going to put the battery and the throttle so we can see that those speeds are actually read by this computer. We can see a nice and steady voltage. If I change the throttle position in here, you can see how that goes into for something. Let me put that in a graph so you can see I'm changing the throttle position. Obviously it's changing, and now you see the voltage value. So the scanner is definitely reading. So that's I'm doing this with the full probe. It's a digital system, so I can do that all here. So all that is good, and we can definitely see good RPMs and now steady since cold. So I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going this time to just kill the computer ignition with my switch on the universal breakout box. You can see on the screen that we are no longer RPMs on the cluster, and I'm going to turn it back on, and instantly it reads the RPM. So this is 100% fixed. I'm going to move you this time so we can get to see that better. I'm going to turn the computer off again one more time, and we can see how the cluster went off because I'm turning the cluster as well. All is connected into the same breakout box that I got here. So I'm going to power it on. It takes like 2 seconds, or not even 2 seconds, like a second, and you can see immediately RPM nice and steady, no longer glitches, nothing. Everything is now working 100%. And if I go back to the screen, you can see how the SUS lost the communication. So I can retry, see if it reconnects. The nice thing with the SUS snapping it saves the data as far as, you know, where you have selected previously. In that disregard, that is just like, I mean, a little bit of a glitch on the throttle position sensor, probably because of the location that I am. But that is like a, you know, a very small voltage. That is nothing, none of a problem that will give any problems on the car. But the steady RPMs are there. Everything is 100%. We have no more issues. So I'm going to try to run, because since I don't have the complete pads, let me actually move this in here so we don't have that glitter in there. So I'm going to turn the computer off now with the full probe, and I'm going to change that signal to 7, which is what I use for higher RPMs. So I'm going to now inject that one, and I'm going to go over to 1200 RPMs, turn the ignition on, and we can see immediately response on the scanner and also on the instrument cluster. So now this is a higher RPM signal. I can see the coils very nice and bright. So let me move you over here. And now you can see, because they're now in a high RPM, so it's like almost a steady on, because it's like impossible for a light to show us the pulsing, but it is definitely being pulsed. And the RPMs are nice and steady. The cluster is moving along the same way. So let me move you over here. We can see how we have, and they're like exactly 2250 RPMs. And that is what I'm injecting. So if we move over to the screen recording, we can see I'm injecting in here, when I'm moving that red arrow, 2250 RPMs, and when we're reading 2250 RPMs. So now the analog to digital converter is reading properly. So this is again 100% fixed. So I'm going, just for my sake, to do more testing, because I always do, just to over the stress my repair, but I'm not going to hold you on the screen, you know, on the video, just because this is a test for a customer. But yeah, what I want also to show is that yes, I am an expert on these computers, and I can repair it 100% of the times. So all these Ford Lightnings, I have 100% success rate, and this is why, because I have taken the time to dissect these computers 100, you know, like I remove all the components. I damage a board, let's say, you know, because I took it over to a machine shop to cut the layer, cut a layer, cut a layer. So I know exactly what all the internals of the pads on this computer goes to. And that is my information. I'm never going to show that because I know there is multiple companies trying to see if I'm a dumb person and show that, and they can, kill my small business, because obviously it's a lot of bigger companies that are seeking all this information to destroy us as small businesses. This is like companies like Amazon. Amazon is a huge international company that doesn't belong to any country. So what they do is start slowly gaining customers because they can lower the prices compared to small businesses. And what they do, kill all the small businesses. And now we are on the mercy of whatever they want to do with us. And this is what I'm always trying to protect my small company for those big companies out there trying to steal my information, and then I will no longer be necessary. So hopefully you all understand why I don't show, especially on computers like this, the all internals. And I have shared some, but I don't share all. All right. All right, thank you so much, guys, for visiting the channel. Kyle, thank you so much for trusting my Salazar Diagnostics. I will be contacting you shortly and collecting payments, send this computer right away to you. All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.